From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to the 2023 Draft Day special here on the Ticats Audio Network. I'm Brayden Neville, and we have an exciting recap of everything that went down here at Tim Hortons Field at the Hamilton Ticats Draft Day Party, sponsored by TELUS. I gotta say, it was my first one, and what an awesome time getting to know some of you Ticats season ticket holders. And honestly, it was a party here at Tim Hortons Field. Don't worry if you weren't able to make it to the draft party. Today's episode will get you all caught up on what you missed with special guests Simoni Lawrence, Ed Hervey, Spencer Zimmerman, Levi Mitchell, and of course, the Ticats' first-round pick, Dayton Black. We also had our incredibly talented panel of Courtney Stephon, R.J Broadhead, Mike Daly, and of course, Brian Simmons was on giving his input. And they kept the fans entertained and gave us a lot of their knowledge as the draft went on. I think it's about time we throw to them and the moment they found out that the first pick was Dayton Black.
So, Dayton Black, offensive lineman, drafted. Hey, Brian, I see you smiling.
Although we won the bet.
Yeah, Courtney won. He said
knew it.
Yeah,
he had some insight.
I'm not going to say that I've done this before. Nah.
I think it's a genius pick. We talked about it before with the veteran offensive lineman. What better guys to learn from coming in? And you mentioned you played a little defense as well, and it sounds like Dayton Black did too.
Yeah, like granted it was high school, but it said quarterback in high school. Then he played defensive line when he was at university, and then he converted to offensive line. It kind of reminds me of my path, because I used to play defensive tackle. When I got to Oklahoma, this guy named Gerald McCoy made me figure out I need to switch to offensive line because he was superb. But as I was talking to Mike during the break, I think it's a great pick because he need a little bit more bricks in his pocket, weighing 298.
Yes.
But I also think they're going to give him time to develop, time to, learn from Van Zyl, learn from all of the Revenberg, all the veteran offensive linemen. And the guy he can move, so I think it's a great pick. I think that's a pick that they won't regret that one. They won't.
Looking at the rankings, the spring rankings, again, a lot of the guys were taken in the NFL draft, so they weren't going to be drafted into the CFL, but Dayton Black was ranked 20th. Obviously made it to a Vanier Cup with the U of S Huskies. And offensive line, your thoughts on the pick, Mike?
Yeah, you look at it, and it's one of those things where because they have such an established O-line, and they being the Ticats have such an established O-line, they can kind of take a pick where it's, let's go after the more athletic guy, right? Let's go after the more athletic guy. Let's go after a guy that has a ceiling, like a higher ceiling in terms of being able to move around, something that's tougher to find with O-linemen. And, who better to learn under than Chris Van Zyl, who played defensive lineman his entire university career at Mac, and then switched over an offensive line in the pros, right? It's just one of those things where if you can find an athletic lineman, let him learn the ropes a little bit for a couple years, right, and then be able to step in there and be able to contribute later on down the road. I think it's a great pick, and it's one of those ones that's a down-the-road pick for sure, but that we're fine on O-line, right? We have enough depth there right now. That's a perfect pick.
And the depth is necessary because we see everybody each year. They made some great picks in the past, and those picks have contributed. Kyle Saxelid, Woodmansey, these are guys who get lots of reps, and they will be called on to play. So to have another round in that chamber is definitely a benefit, especially when you know that you're going to need every win you can get this year. We already talked about the division being competitive, so you can't take it for granted that the roster that you have on week 1 is going to be the roster that plays in week 18.
Yeah, and we saw it last year how important the offensive line is. And Levi Mitchell in at quarterback, a veteran group. It's Coulter Woodmansey. You talked about him. He was a high pick, 5th overall. And again, at 6th overall, the Tiger Cats' first-round pick in 2 years. They didn't have a first-rounder last year. Ends up being Dayton Black, the offensive lineman out of the U of S.
That was the panel talking about the first-round pick, Dayton Black, out of Saskatchewan, and the fact that this guy went from quarterback to the D-line and then to the O-line really does show the kind of freak athlete he is, and someone that could potentially be a great starter for the Ticats maybe. We will get to the panel's interview with Dayton in just a bit, but first, the panel had a very special guest pop by, and one the fans needed no introduction to.
And we're going to get one of the fan favorites in here. I think a lot of you have had a chance to talk to Simoni Lawrence already. And he's going to join us, the all-time leading tackler in Hamilton Tiger Cats history.
Oh, yeah, let's get to what?
Look at the love, Simoni.
I love it out here. I love these people. These are my people. I love them.
So, if you've been following Simoni on social media, you have been training like crazy. You are pretty focused for this season.
Absolutely. I understand the stakes. The Grey Cup is home, and we have one objective, and that's to win the Grey Cup at home. So I'm going to put nothing else really matters, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the best shape of my life and make sure that I give the city what they want.
And you can tell they're going all in to make sure that this happens, right? Like, as a player around the team, you can just get that feel that it is all in for this year. And does that kind of give you a little more energy while you're doing all this stuff to get going?
For sure. It's one of those years where it's like every year you want to win the Grey Cup. But, like, when the Grey Cup's at the house, I remember back in 2021 when the Grey Cup was here, I was like, there's no way any other team's going to come and sit in our locker room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like by any means necessary type of thing, you know, and that's how it's going to be this year as well.
Sim, you've been playing this game for a minute.
Yeah.
How do you stay so engaged, so motivated? I mean, you're working out 3 times a day. You're coming, you're playing with the kids on the field. You're coming here late at night. You're hanging out at the draft party. You really got to love this.
Yeah. Hot yoga for sure. But nah, it's one of those things where I came into this league and Hamilton gave me an opportunity to do something that I love, right? And, you know, my dream, like, I have, like, cold sweats and stuff just winning a Grey Cup in Hamilton. So, you know, like, I'm still chasing, you feel what I'm saying? So every time I get up tired and I want to, like, be like, oh, I'm tired, I just get to it because I want to win a Grey Cup in Hamilton.
And the absolute party that this city will put on.
Oh, yeah, we're going to party. We're going to party for a whole year straight, for sure, for sure.
Hey, but Sim, let's talk a little bit about what's looking like on the defense, right? Like this, I would say as a leader, this might be one of your tougher tests because when you look at the back end, what you were comfortable with all those DBs, right? Carriel Brooks, Jamal Roll, the same faces that you'd see year after year. It's a little bit different back there. So as a leader, does that change the way you kind of approach this camp?
Oh, I mean, for sure. It's one of those things where you can implant what you think into the defensive backs' minds because they're going to be younger players, right? So you're going to know and understand how they're going to play, right? And so it's going to be easier that way. And plus, we got Coach Orlando and Coach Washington, their defensive mind, defensive backs, so they're going to have them right. So that's a position that should always be great.
And what about your linebacker position? You had some chemistry over the last couple of seasons. Now you're going to have a couple of different guys beside you.
Yeah, the thing about defense, and especially at linebacker, is you see who's to your left, you see who's to your right, and you're like, okay, let's race to the ball, see who gets there first. It's that simple.
So, Simoni, you said the GC word, the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
Will you talk about that at training camp, or will it be just focused one game at a time? Because we know what Coach O says.
It's always one game at a time, you know. That's just football. Every game matters, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the goal is always the Grey Cup. Nobody just comes to wants to win 1 game, 2 games. They want to win the Grey Cup. So everybody needs to understand that we need to win the Grey Cup, and that's what it's about. It's not about having a good season. It's about having a great season. Offensive
lineman picked by the Tiger Cats. Pretty good offensive line that you have on paper right now coming into camp.
Yeah, he's going to do a great job. He's going to get a lot of work as well. You know, we got big boy Ted to work him out when he gets here, so I'm excited for that. You know, I just like the matches up in camp. You know, I like seeing the guys get drafted and how they translate and come to the pro level, you know. You get to see it right away if they're tough or not.
Simoni, what's your favorite part of training camp?
Oh, my favorite part is training camp.
Naps.
Competition drills. I love
He said naps.
Naps are fun. You get good naps in camp, right? Best sleep you get is in camp, really.
Yeah, for real.
But for sure, offense versus defense, competition drills for sure. Can't wait.
And that's the one thing that I wish we could, kind of get a close-up on the first rookie that has to go up against Ted Laurent.
Exactly.
A close-up on his face for training camp just to see what that looks like.
That good old Haitian rip.
It's the initiation for the rookies.
For sure, yeah. Tim Hortons Donuts, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Simoni, it's great to see you here. It's great to see that smile, and we can't wait to hear you talking at training camp and on the field and making things happen and making the tackles. Great to have you here. I know the fans love to see you.
Yeah.
You're 21. Number 21, forever 21, is that?
Let's go. You're here, though, man. You can't fool the city, man.
Well, we're going to get you to do a draw here.
Okay.
So pick a ticket, and your signed jersey will go to this person.
Oh, man.
So read out the number, Simoni.
All right. The number is 21. 21. 21. All right. The real number is 966231. 966231. If you do not.
All right.
Yahtzee.
Come up here, bud.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Can you squeeze through?
What's your name? We have Dominic here. Dominic, you just won a jersey. How do you feel? Good. Where are you from, Dominic? Huh?
Stratford?
Do you love football? He loves football. That's all that matters. Clap it up for Dom.
Yeah.
Dom, do you want to throw the jersey on? Here you go, boss. Get you a nice 21 jersey, and you know what we're going to do for you, Dom? We're going to sign it right away for you. Anybody got a marker, a gray marker? Oh, perfect.
You need a gray one?
Gray. That one.
Where we at? Thank you very much.
See, we got everything right here.
My boy just only in Hamilton
Keep
you
it.
can win a jersey on the spot.
Yes. Well, congratulations, Dominic. That is a valuable jersey.
There you go, Dom. Congrats.
All-time leading tackler. Well, Simoni,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I love it here. I love all the fans. Thanks all the fans for coming. It's beautiful in here like always. Thank you guys for supporting us. We need you guys. We're going to need everybody this season. So everybody keep cheering and going hard for us. You know, we're taking this home. Let's go.
All right. Simoni Lawrence.
That was Simoni Lawrence live at the draft day party sponsored by TELUS, and a guy who's been with the Ticats a long time, the all-time leader in tackles, but also a guy who just really loves this city and is always dedicating his time doing all sorts of work, not only on the field, but off the field as well. He's a great ambassador for the Hamilton Ticats, and they've been truly lucky to have a guy like Simoni in the organization over the past several years. Now, with training camp approaching quickly in Ticat Nation, the panel spoke a little bit about what these new draft picks can expect in their first CFL camp and what the draft can do for a team.
Offensive lineman going into camp, going against some veteran defensive linemen. Does that happen in camp to the rookies?
Oh, yeah, they're going to throw you in the fire, and vice versa. Defensive linemen going against, I call it barbecue chicken. That's easy work, But, hey, every once in a while you get a rookie that's very impressive, that come up and make you, raise your antennas a little bit.
So the Tiger Cats with that 6th overall pick, they take Dayton Black. And now the Tiger Cats don't have a pick for a little while. Nothing in round 2 or round 3. TSN's coverage only goes to round 2. And then Tiger Cats will have a couple of picks in round 4, a pick in round 5, and 2 picks in round 8. So no picks in round 6 or 7. So we'll see how those pan out, those picks. And, of course, we're not going to be live for that whole time till round 8. listening to Simoni Lawrence, getting excited for training camp. That get you fired up, Courtney?
I can't lie. I wish that the first game of the season was like this week.
Right.
Because there's so much analysis you could do. You could watch the old film, dig up the highlights. You could look over the roster and put together some hypotheticals. And I'm guilty of doing that more than anybody. But there's nothing like the sound of pads hitting together. That's what I'm looking forward to. And when they get out there on this field, I know I work here, but I'm definitely going to be a fan. I'm definitely going to be a fan.
And to feel like all the energy in the room, right? Like we haven't had something like this in a while in the off season. Get everyone together, see how excited everybody is. It's just, you're exactly right. It's like, okay, why can't we start tomorrow? You know what I mean? And so I'm looking forward to the season. It's going to be a fun one for sure, especially that, the anticipation of the Grey Cup being here. But obviously we have to get through a draft first and the rest of the draft as well. But the one thing is what you'll notice with these drafts is it's an imperfect science, right? Nobody ever gets it 100% right. Could be a first round that pans out great or doesn't really cut it, right? The jump is so big, but then you could find those diamonds in the rough later on in the draft. So
Yep.
I think when you look at, the Ticats not having a pick for a couple rounds here, it's not really that big of a deal because you can pick some people up 4th, 5th, 6th. You look at Sean Thomas Erlington, 8th round. Like, you'll find them and they'll pan out, and it just happens.
Well, that makes me wonder, what is going on in the Ticats war room right now? Do you feel like they know what they want and they got kind of 3-4 guys in that order and they're just waiting to see if they're still there? Or do you think there's last-minute changes that are happening because they have to go off a gut feeling or something of that nature?
I think there might be some last-minute changes, but it'll be the gut feeling or repercussions of what someone else has picked. Maybe if they take a guy that we really wanted, okay, we have to go this way, or vice versa. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded to move up some. It's possible. I don't think they need to do that, but at the same time, like you said, the draft is very unpredictable. You never know where you're going to go with it sometimes. So I don't know what they're thinking, to answer your question, Courtney. I have no idea.
I wouldn't want to be in there right now because that seems like a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, and it's not like a fantasy draft where if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. But we won't know for 2 or 3 years. Hindsight's 20/20. But Tiger Cats have had some good late-round picks. Felix Garon-Gauthier, he was a 5th rounder. Gordon White, he's turned into an excellent long snapper in the CFL. He was an 8th-round pick, and you mentioned Sean Thomas Erlington, 8th-round pick. Mike Daly was a 6th-round pick. And look how he turned out.
How? Stolen. We stole him.
I was about 20 pounds lighter at that time. Looked like a string bean coming out of university. That might have been why.
So we're hoping to get a couple of Tiger Cats who have been in the draft room, hoping for Mark Washington and Spencer Zimmerman. And I think Levi Mitchell is still around, so we're going to chat with him as well. Again, the Tiger Cats go with Dayton Black, 6'5", 298 pounds, offensive line. It's a very veteran offensive line group going into camp, so a great situation for a young player. And it's the Tiger Cats taking him 6th overall. Won't have a pick until round 4 now, so that gives us the opportunity to talk to a couple of the guys that have been discussing the picks and the selections. And defense has been such an important part of the Tiger Cats. It's sort of the heart of the city, and I think the defense, you guys both played with the Tiger Cats on defense. There's a bit of pride being part of that defensive group for the Tiger Cats.
If you ask me, defense is the Ticats brand. That's what they're known for. That's what they've always been known for. When opposing teams come here, they expect a physical game. I think Coach O would love to say, regardless, win or lose, the other team's going to be climbing in the cold tub after they play at Tim Hortons Field. So, yeah, I think there's due for somebody who tackles for a living to get picked off the board, just because we've been known to have a stable of those types of guys, special teams or on defense. And I think that the receivers that we get, they're not just patty cake receivers either. They're the ones like Levi Mitchell, who we picked up. I mean, I went toe-to-toe with this guy he's a big body. He can run. He's physical, and he catches for a living. But I think in another life, he could have probably wore black shoes. So in this town, you got to be tough, regardless of what position you play. And I think there's going to be at least one of those guys taken in the draft tonight.
Absolutely. Global draft was earlier today as well. Tiger Cats got a linebacker, Panay Pavihi, who's American Samoa, and he played at the University of Hawaii. And then Lou Headley, he's 28 years old, but he's a punter. And looking at the roster, we'll see who's invited to camp. But right now, it looks like Blake Hayes, who came on late in the year, is the incumbent punter. And we'll see what Lou Headley can do. He did sign with the New Orleans Saints as an undrafted free agent, so we'll see what happens with Headley. But kicking is so important. We saw it when Seth Small came in last season and was almost automatic with the field goals. It really changed the Tiger Cats' fortunes. They were winning games that they weren't before.
Well, you know what we were always talking about last season is that you want to take these shots at the end zone, but you can only really take these shots at the end zone when you know that you have a kicker that's going to get you at least 3 points after taking a shot in case you don't get it. So having Seth Small, it gave the offense a little more confidence in the red zone. It either pans out to touchdowns or at least you're getting 3 points out of it, and it's not kind of an issue there.
That was the Ticats Audio Network panel giving their take on training camp, the draft, the upcoming season, and the excitement surrounding the team this year. And one huge reason for that excitement is the arrival of future Hall of Famer quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell, who stopped by to discuss the upcoming season, the CFL Draft, and more.
So, who wants to hear from Bo Levi Mitchell? Anybody here? Oh, okay.
I don't think.
Yeah, you might. Let's get a little louder for Bo. A little louder for Bo. Well, that's pretty good.
What's going on?
Bo Levi Mitchell, quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Boys,
Welcome.
by the way, I'll never call Simoni anything other than Simoni Lawrence from now on.
An accidental nickname.
I do that.
It did roll off the tongue, though.
Every time I throw a touchdown in training camp, like, Smiley, don't worry, man. You'll get the next one.
You know what, Bo? You might be one of the only players on the team that'll have enough hierarchy to call him that.
No.
So, how are you feeling? Great to be around some fans.
Yeah, man,
Some
look at this.
Mitchell jerseys there, number 19.
So beautiful, too. And the black and gold looking good. No, it's been great. I mean, honestly, this is something I haven't really been a part of before. So to have, this kind of watch party, to see just how much you care about the guys we're picking today, to, be on our team tomorrow, it's amazing. I've already been on the phone with Dayton. I actually met him in the locker room when he was here for his visit. Smart individual. He's ex-quarterback, so he knows football. And man, I think Simoni said it, like when you're talking about a culture to come into and somewhere to learn, Dayton found the right place. So having the best fans right here in the CFL cheering for you, I know because I played against y'all. I've always hated coming to this stadium to play against you guys because I knew I would always hear so much during the game. But it's going to be fun having you guys cheer on our side.
Hey, Bo, how much of that weighed into your decision? When you're doing the whole free agency stuff, going checking things out, how much of that, the fans and what you're used to playing against us here, how much of that weighed into that decision?
It was huge, man. I'm from Texas, and since high school, I've had 55,000 fans, at my games, and that's what I'm used to. I want people that, they live, breathe. This football is their life, and that's what I feel when I walk in this room. That's what I feel every time I walk in this stadium. I've walked out with my head high sometimes, but majority of the time I've come to this stadium, I've walked out with my head low, losing to you guys, and the fans always let you hear it. And the best part is, too, you're over there, and I'm meeting new fans, and they're man, I've hated you for a really long time. But I'm glad to have you here, so I appreciate it. But Mike, it was a big part of my decision. For me, I wanted to get back in front of fans that not that fans in Calgary didn't care. They did. Fans across all CFL do care. But in Hamilton, there's just something special about it, something you feel. And I saw it every time we're pulling up in the bus, and just the amount of black and gold I see walking to the stadium. Throwing their hands at our bus, how much they hate us. I was ready to be on the right side of that.
Hey, Bo, so you've been out here for a few weeks now, and you've gotten a sense of what it's like to be part of this team, part of this community. Talk to us a little bit about that. Man,
it's been amazing. Courtney, Amanda, has done such an amazing job getting me out in the community, getting to see a lot of young fans. I've actually seen a couple here tonight. And man, I'll tell you, I got to give both of you guys props. Just being a part of something that's so organized, and it's so easy for us players to show up, say, hey, here's what you're doing. Now you just go out there and enjoy your time. And I think it makes it more fun for a player to walk out there and see a kid and say, instead of thinking like, okay, I've got to be here for 5 hours, it's, it's going to be organized. Everything's going to be run on time. The kids come, they're happy, they're ready to go. You guys take care of us. But my wife and I, Madison, for those of y'all don't know, we've always tried to implant ourselves into the community that we're in. So, we're just now, starting the foundation, but we'll keep building on it for sure.
So, Bo, you've been in the league a long time. You've won Grey Cups, MOPs.
Not that long. I'm still young.
Yeah, I know, but experience. You've got experience. You signed a 3-year contract, so you got at least 3 more good years.
Oh, yeah.
But this is first time going to a different team. Is it a different feeling going into training camp for you?
I guess maybe the unknown, right? Like in Calgary, I know the exact schedule every single day, the exact practice schedule, exactly how rookie camp or quarterback camp is going to go, those things. I think it's the unknown, but at the same time, that's an exciting feeling for an athlete. We're built on routine. We rely on routine. Sometimes when that motivation isn't there to make sure you get in the weight room and do the right things. But in training camp, the routine can sometimes become, monotonous. And it's the same thing over and over and over. But to have the ability to walk into something brand new, not know what's going to be thrown at you is exciting. It's fun. I said it when I signed. I think the biggest thing for me is just I have an entire new, yes fan base. And I love you guys, but the most important thing to me is I have an entire locker room to prove something to. And I said it when I signed here. I haven't done anything for this team yet. I have a lot to live up to, which is exciting for me because I love the pressure. But I'm ready to get out there and prove it.
And now I'm sure, Bo, you've been on the phone with Tommy. You probably had a ton of meetings with him by now.
Every day, 7 a.m., baby.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, how excited are you to play in an offense like this? I mean, you look across the board. You got, Tim White, who had an outstanding season. Bring in Duke Williams. Right. You got a ton of weapons all over. How exciting is that? Sitting down with Tommy, looking through the playbook, seeing the plays, and just talking about kind of what's going on.
Richie Sindani.
Yeah.
Richie,
just signed my boy Richie.
Yeah.
Man, it's been amazing because right when you sign, it's like, all right, give me access to the film because now I'm ready to start learning. And the first thing I did was start looking at some of the drop back plays, but Tim White pops off the screen right away. As soon as you see Tim White, you see him run down the field. He is a very, very, very special player. But the thing that I started to notice, the more and more I watch film, I was like, this entire receiving core is very good. Like, I've been throwing with Tyler Tanowski every day. That's a guy that's going to have a great year. In my mind, he's a Canadian guy. Yes, he's homegrown. I know that. I think he's a very, very special player. He's going to do a lot of big things. We've made some great signings, but we had a lot of great guys already in this building. And, man, I'll tell you what, I can't give away any secrets, but our receivers are going to have a very fun year.
And the offensive line, it's...
oh, man, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here waiting to see who we're going to pick, and I see Dayton up there. I'm like, it just got even better? Like, we're just going to keep getting the O-line even better already? Let's go.
Yeah, what a group to learn from for Dayton.
Oh, man, I mean, the guys he's got in front of him, Rev, Van Zyl, all those guys, I mean, you can pick any one of them you want, Canadian or not. I think the entire group, when I look at film, these guys allow you to breathe in that pocket. It's not, you don't have bullets kind of flying. It's up to you to move around. And, yes, I love moving around the pocket. But, Tommy and Coach Gibby, the O-line coach, they do an amazing job preparing these guys for one, but helping develop guys. And I think having a guy like Van Zyl, a guy that's been here, and he's seen every O-lineman coming here for, however many years in Toronto, in here. He's going to be able to help Dayton and look at him and say, hey, look, this is what you're doing. I know a certain player that did that as well, and this is what he did to get better, and this is what I think that can help you. And I think just having the tools like that around him, it's going to create an environment for him to get better, fast.
So these are all season ticket holders. You can tell us, Bo. What are your expectations for this season?
Grey Cup, that's it. That's it.
No hesitation.
There's nothing to hesitate about, man. I got brought here for a reason. I signed here for a reason because this is a team that I believe, when I looked at the rosters and I saw the coaching staff, this is a team I thought was going to win the Grey Cup, so I wanted to be a part of it.
I love it.
That is the correct answer. The 19, Bo Levi Mitchell jersey, signed jersey.
I wish I could do the Simoni and just say the 19, 19, 19, but only he can come up with that. All right, here we go. So we got one here. Yeah. All right, we got 966-202. 966-202.
202. So if you've got 966-202, come over to that side and we'll
going once.
Get you the Bo Levi Mitchell signed jersey. Where's all the screaming? That's a valuable jersey.
No one yet.
Not yet, but it will be.
That's right. That's right.
These are limited edition. There's a few of the other jerseys, the Simoni Lawrences, and that doesn't water down the value of them, but this is a little bit rare.
So,
not too many of those out there in the wild yet.
All right, hey, y'all want us to pick another number?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do another number.
Why not?
Yeah.
I got to get off the seat because
second down.
Y'all see these guys when they walk in, it's time for them to talk.
Ones with the suits.
966-158. 158. If that's not it, I'm gonna let somebody else pick.
People haven't left, have they? Check your tickets.
Who wants to offer the most money for it?
From Katy, Texas.
Who is?
He lying.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Or just keep going.
So
somebody else pick.
This is third down,
Bo. Win.
Third down. It's a gamble. Going for it.
I'm throwing the ball deep. 966-239. 239. I don't know if the people in the back can even hear.
Probably not.
966-239.
I'll let y'all keep drawing until y'all find it. You'll take it for free? Yeah? All right, well, hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much. Yep. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bo.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
That was Bo Levi Mitchell live from the Ticats Draft Party, sponsored by TELUS, right here at Tim Hortons Field. And, well, he said it. The reason he's here is to win a Grey Cup. I think everyone's made that clear. Simoni mentioned it. Bo mentioned it. Coaches are mentioning it. That is clearly the mission. And what better way to do it than by signing a legend like Bo who knows what it takes to get a team there. Draft day can get hectic. It's busy for everyone, and management is working like crazy preparing for the draft and deliberating the right selections for the team. Assistant General Manager Spencer Zimmerman and Assistant General Manager and Director of Player Personnel Ed Hervey, they joined the panel to talk about some of the selections Ticats made on draft night and maybe what we can expect from them in the near future.
Tiger Cats have made their pick. We're going to bring in Spencer Zimmerman, Assistant General Manager. No, you can stay, Courtney. You can stay. Director of Player Personnel. Ed Hervey, Assistant General Manager, Senior Advisor to President of Football Operations. Guys, welcome to the CFL Draft Party presented by TELUS. Spencer, let's start with you. Dayton Black, the 6th overall pick. What went into that decision?
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously really excited. He was somebody that early on Drew obviously identified pretty early in the process, and you know, his name just kept coming up. We kept circling back to him, and we were anxiously waiting for 5 picks prior. So really athletic guy, a lot of upside. Obviously a high school quarterback, which is kind of unique. That kind of transitioned to the offensive line. So we're excited about, obviously, the development, getting in the room with Chris and some of the other guys on the O-line. I think will be great for him. And more importantly, like, blue-collar guy, just from outside of Winnipeg. Brandon comes from a blue-collar family, so I think he's going to fit in really well in Steeltown.
Ed, we talked about it with Courtney and Mike and Brian Simmons. Bringing in a young offensive lineman with this group of offensive linemen who have so much experience, were you targeting an offensive lineman going into the draft?
Like Spencer said, with dealing with Dayton Black and just the overall talent that's there, and being that this league is obviously comprised of the best offensive linemen, the best teams usually have that. And when you start talking about targeting, you're always looking to target the best players that are available to you. But in this particular case, we also targeted one of the better human beings in the draft as well, someone that we felt that would fit into the culture here, someone that we felt that we could develop over time. And all around, we believe in Dayton, and I think that we can all agree as a department that Dayton has a bright future, and we want to be a part of that, of developing that.
Now, I have to ask, because you mentioned his character. Obviously, we can break down film, we can look at stats, but how much does the personality and the character play into your choice of somebody? If there's somebody who's very skilled, but you don't know as much about their character, does that cause questions for you? Or would you rather take somebody who has a little bit less of the numbers, and you know they have the character to develop into something great?
Well, I think, we can all agree, again, on this, is that this group, we spent an enormous amount of time on finding out about the character of the people that will be coming into this locker room. Coach O has spent many, many years crafting how he wants his environment to be, and it is important as he sends us out to locate players and find players and recruit guys that they have a certain character trait that fits into the room. And you can't be disruptive. You cannot be someone that, we have names for them that I won't use on the mic, but more importantly, that they'll fit. Right, they have to have talent, and when we're talking about that fine line between talented players and players who are not so talented or extremely talented, ultimately the character of the player still has to fit into the room, because those guys, if they don't fit, usually weed themselves out, and more importantly, if they disrupt your room, your levels and chances of success are not there.
So Tiger Cats, I guess why Ed and Spencer are available. Don't have a pick for a couple of rounds here, but round 4, 2 more picks, and then 1 in round 5 and 2 in round 8. So Spencer, take us through what's being discussed right now as you wait for your next picks.
Sure. I mean, obviously, not having a second round pick goes to acquiring David Beard last year, who's a perennial all-star center.
Changed the offensive line last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we obviously had that expectation trading for him, but he's really surpassed those in some ways. Instantly took in a leadership role, and he's already moved to Hamilton. He's here. He's settled, ready for camp. And obviously our third pick went to somebody who was on the panel prior, which was the most important priority in the offseason. So it was capital well spent on our end. And right now we're just focused on really still trying to stay active. That's why we can't stay for too long. Ed's phone might ring in the middle of this, because we're really still trying to be vigilant and putting the best roster for 2023. And if not, we'll be ready to pick in the 29 spot.
Well, absolutely, guys. We won't keep you. I know everybody's starting to thin out here, but the 6th overall pick, Dayton Black, we like it, and he'll learn from some great guys. So we'll let you get back to the draft room, and thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
That was Spencer Zimmerman and Ed Hervey at the Ticats Draft Party, sponsored by TELUS. It was good to get their insight on the newest additions to the Hamilton Ticats, and really to go into the process, which we really don't know what's going through these GMs' heads, but to go through the process of why they chose who they chose and what they think they can do for this Ticats team in the future. The first draft pick to the Ticats was Dayton Black, and he joined the panel to discuss his emotions and excitement after hearing his name called and being one of the newest members of the Hamilton Ticats.
All right, so the Tiger Cats' 6th overall pick was Dayton Black, and Dayton joins us now. Dayton, welcome to the Ticats Audio Network and the Tiger Cats CFL Draft Party presented by TELUS.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. This is great.
Dayton, just your first thoughts on being drafted 6th overall by the Hamilton Tiger Cats?
Oh, it's one of those things that's very hard to put into words, There's a ton of emotions running through my head right now, but I'm just beyond excited for this opportunity that Coach O and the rest of the Ticats organization has given me, and all the potential and greatness they see in me. And I'm beyond ecstatic to get to work with these guys and win a Grey Cup for this great town of Hamilton.
Hey, Dayton, this is Brian Simmons here, former left tackle for Hamilton. I just wanted to ask you, I know you're very versatile and you can move well, but what position do you feel like you play well I guess, what's your most successful position, if you could tell us?
Yeah, besides making the switch to offensive line, I would say quarterback back in my younger days. But yeah, with the last couple of years here playing offensive line, I've really only played left tackle, so I'd say that's the most position I'm comfortable in right now.
Oh, well, that's a great position to be. Not many can play it, but looking forward to you coming here, man. I saw that you got a former defensive line playing time, and that kind of reminds me of myself because I used to play defensive tackle before I converted. I personally think offensive linemen, they make some of the better defensive linemen, former defensive linemen make some of the better offensive linemen because they can transition. And then you also got an idea of what the defense is trying to do. So I wish you well, man. You come into a great group of guys, veteran guys, that they're gonna help you, teach you, and you're just gonna learn so much, man. And congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm beyond pumped, and I'm ready to learn from these guys. There's so much more to learn, and I'm ready to get to work.
Dayton, this is Courtney Stephon here. Congratulations. Why don't you describe your game for us and tell us what you bring to the teams that you've played on and what you're going to be bringing to this Ticat locker room?
Yeah, I like to be known like the most physical player on the field. O-line's it's a tough position. You're always going backwards with a lot of guys running forward at you. So me being the most physical and nastiest player on that field I can be, that's what I'm going to bring to this Ticats organization. I'm ready to protect Bo Levi. As you guys know, he's a stud, and, the more I can do for this team, the better.
And Dayton, Mike Daly here for the Ticats Audio Network. First of all, congratulations, right? That's awesome for you, your family, everything. What does it mean now coming to a team like the Hamilton Ticats that are going to host the Grey Cup at home? And really the expectations are to win the Grey Cup. Have you kind of wrapped your head around that yet? Or is it still just excited about the pick and trying to get your footing right before you got to make it to minicamp?
Yeah, a little bit of both for sure, right? Definitely got to get ready to go to camp first of all, right? Football's a long season, 18 games. You got to take it 1 week at a time. But, I come in, I'm a competitor, and I hate to lose, so I'm coming in and I wanna do my best to help this team win a Grey Cup. And I think that's the expectation in the locker room, and I hope that's how all the guys feel, that we have one goal in mind, and that's to be playing for that Grey Cup.
Dayton, you want to be the most physical guy on the field? I think you'll fit in just fine with the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, we're going to be the hammer and not the nail, sir.
Dayton, congratulations, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys for so much. Thank you for your time, and I can't wait to get to work.
Hope you can hear the fans.
I love it. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'm ready to get out there and see y'all.
Good stuff. That's Dayton Black, well-spoken, played at the U of S. He's from Brandon, Manitoba, and I think that is a great pick. We had Spencer and Ed here talking about character, and you can tell just from the first time talking to him, he's got a ton of that.
And you know what? He's from Winnipeg. I guarantee you when it gets cold, he'll have no sleeves on, and that's somebody I want on my team. I want one of those tough old linemen who doesn't care about the weather. Just comes, tape on his knuckles, and some ready to put the fear of God into some of
I can say from experience, I've been in Brandon when it's minus 50. No word of a lie.
And you made it out?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Thanks.
One of my favorite teammates I played with was Landon Rice, and he's from Brandon, and he's like the Canadian Paul Bunyan, so I'm pretty sure Dayton's gonna be fine.
Yeah, and you know what? I liked his mindset too, right? Like being physical and being aggressive is a mindset first and foremost, and if that's what he's talking about, he knows he's got to bring that already. Being that young, it's a big thing.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this has been a lot of fun. The draft party presented by TELUS. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Before we wrap up, Brian Simmons, great job, and it worked out perfect that they took an offensive lineman. Your inside information was excellent. Just final thoughts on the draft and the season coming up for the Tiger Cats.
Like Mike said earlier, and Courtney, you really don't know the outcome of the draft, and really until the season's over. You don't know how your pick's going to do. It's almost, not going to say the stock market or something, but it's like you're making these little investments and you're hoping that something grows and takes off for you. So I think that's a good start. I don't know what the other picks would be. We'll sit here and say, but we'll sit here and see. But I will say this: I think their team is so strong. I think they're gonna be fine regardless. And I think the draft is just, hey, we're gonna have little touch-ups here and there. Like Black. Let's say if he works it up to be a 6th man, that'd be great for him to get that opportunity. But at the same time, I feel like this group is so veteranized. It's gonna be hard for him to get that spot. Like it's hard to get that spot, and competition brings the best out of everyone. That's my favorite part of training camp. I missed that segment earlier. I love just competing, and I'm looking forward to watching the season come and just see how it goes. And I don't know, you just really can't predict it. You can say what you think and feel, but until the first game of the season, that ball is kicked off, you don't know what's going to happen.
Mike, I'm sure you're staying in shape for a playoff comeback, but the regular season, how do you feel about the Tiger Cats?
I feel great. I mean, everybody can kind of feel it. It's this big push. The Grey Cup's at home. The signings that you saw in the offseason are big name people, right? You see Duke Williams, James Butler, Levi Mitchell, Kwaku Boateng. These are all big time names that can be big impact players. There's one goal in mind, and that's it for this year, right? And it's really cool and really exciting to be a part of, because you can feel that. You can feel it in the fans. You can feel that with, Spence and Ed that were up here, and really any player that talks about it. That's the feeling in the locker room, in the stands, everywhere. So it's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
The highest draft pick on the panel tonight, Courtney Stephon. Exciting time in the draft, but training camp and the regular season is what everybody's looking forward to.
Yeah, this is all a glimpse into what's to come. And there's been so much made about this season. I know the players are doing a good job of talking it up, but they'll be excited when they can just put the pads on and get to hitting people. And I think, as all the fans in here know, that's when it really counts. So a lot of talking. We love to do it, but I can't wait to see somebody hit.
Brian Simmons, Mike Daly, Courtney Stephon, I'm R.J. Broadhead, and thank you, the fans, the season ticket holders, for coming out, supporting the Tiger Cats, and let's keep our fingers crossed that it ends the way we all hope it will.
That's all for our Draft Day special episode, and a big thank you to our panel for the awesome coverage all night at the draft party, and to the guests and fans who showed up. It was a pleasure to meet some of you. It was a special night, and there was definitely that buzz in the air over this Ticats team. I personally had a wonderful time and am absolutely fired up for this upcoming season. That's all for me today. I'm Brayden Neville, and make sure to tune in next time on Ticats Today. Stay safe, and goodbye.